Yeah, the Prince Andrew is a big story. I mean, like I say, I mean, I've made a rather cynical point about it being a big money spinner, talking about Prince Andrew. I mean, I think that what I what I've been taking from this whole thing about this sort of crisis the royals are in, if you like. Well, it's not so much. Well, that's the point, really. Is it the royals? I mean, basically, King Charles and William are trying to, understandably, distance themselves from Prince Andrew. I would imagine, which is why this has all come to light. I actually think that this may have come to light because I understand that King Charles III and his wife Camilla, who's she called Queen Consort, or was it just Queen? Anyway, King Charles and Queen Camilla are due to go, and I think it's go over to the Vatican. I think it might be this week. Go over to Rome, to the Vatican, to meet Pope Leo XIV. And I understand it's going to be the first time that the head of the English Church, head of the Church of England, and the head of the Catholic Church will have prayed together for quite some time. I think it's decades. So I think that's probably represented I'm guessing here, but I should imagine that may have represented a sort of watershed event in the mind of the king, which has prompted him to sort of think, right, I need to do something here. I'm about to go over to meet the Pope, to talk about football and the meaning of life, etc., etc., and the price of fish, and I need to sort of set me stall out, sort of, before I go, and feel like I'm going now with a good clear head, sort of thing, And I would imagine, it's just me guessing, by the way. Perhaps they'll discuss the lead singer of Marillion Fish as well, as well as the price of fish, the Pope and King Charles, but. We don't know what they're going to discuss, but two important world leaders, isn't it? Spiritual world leaders having a meeting, and I should imagine he's probably thought, I need to get this brother of mine who's an infamous sex abuser by all credible accounts. I need to get him off. I need to distance myself from him. He needs to get, he needs to sort of, he might be my brother, but only biologically kind of attitude, I would imagine, that's just that's my take on it. I mean, politically and in the echelons of I don't know how the thing work, the higher echelons of UK and global social life works, but I should imagine in these aristocratic dinner parties, you don't and more pertinently political and spiritual gatherings, the last thing you want to be seen as is, oh, there's the bloke, there's the brother of that. He might be the King of England, but his brother's a sex abuser, So. And I should imagine Prince William's not exactly very impressed with the situation. I mean, Prince William's kind of, in some ways, is even more relevant to the situation than Charles, isn't he? Because Charles is quite an elderly fella. Okay, he's still got his marbles and everything, but Prince William, the future is with Prince William, isn't it? As far as the monarchy's concerned. Now, people might be thinking, "Oh, I'm coming across like a raving monarchist here." In actual fact, I wouldn't really describe myself as a raving monarchist. A realist and a pragmatist, yes. A raving monarchist, no. I mean, I may have gone through a stage when I was probably about 19, maybe for about 6 months or so. I've never really been into radical extreme politics, if I'm quite honest, but I mean, I may have gone through a 6-month period when I was about 19 of sort of contemplating stuff like anarchy and hard left ideas, you know. Like I think a lot of young people do, you know. But I sort of went past that stage and sort of thought, well, that doesn't really make too much sense to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I went through a stage of appreciating if you like, the attraction of anarchy, and the merits of some of the merits of Marxism, you know. But as I've said in previous videos, I consider myself to be a social democrat. So I'm not particularly a monarchist, but I was going to try and discuss one or two other subjects today, but I was getting quite embroiled in this royal family thing at the minute. But we'll try not to go too much over the 29-minute mark, as I say, as I usually, as I've said before, you know, I don't want these videos to get too long at this juncture. We'll see what happens when the you know, if the offers start coming in from Channel 5, Coca-Cola, or Sony BMG, then, you know, there may be longer, more remunerative you know, programming ahead. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, me and my production team, you know. Not forgetting the stylist, you know. But yes, the royal family, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that gets debated in sixth forms and probably, you know, university courses, isn't it? I mean, or fifth forms, you know, schools. What's the alternative? Is, you know, I mean, does anybody particularly think the American presidential system is better than the system we've got? I mean, okay, our system is getting a lot of our monarchical system. Is that a word? I think so. It's getting a lot of bit of a kick in, particularly at the moment, isn't it? Because of the carryings on of Prince Andrew. But I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? How long has there been a monarch in England, and, you know, how long has there been a UK monarch? You know, long time, isn't it? Centuries. Who started the Church of England? King Henry, the Eighth, wasn't it? Fair enough. He also started the Church of England due to not keeping it in his trousers, as to coin the layman's term. But that's probably going to be a digression if I'm not careful, isn't it? You know. But you get the picture. Life's complicated. Things happen for various different reasons. I saw this program on the Nicene Creed yesterday that was saying how the Nicene Creed in the 3rd century got occurred due to a famous preacher. I can't forget his name now, but some famous preacher decided in the 3rd century that Christ wasn't God. Christ was something separate, and so all the other leading preachers were of the belief that Christ, as Christ is reportedly said to have said, and it was subsequently noted down on paper or parchments, or, you know, whatever they had in them days. I don't think they had big biros, did they? But whatever they had, quills, someone wrote it down, you know. Christ said it, someone else wrote it down. No. This preacher can go and eat lunch. This is what Christ said. He said he was the Son of God, blah, blah, blah. So they had this Nicene Creed to sort out the teachings of the Christian church, which has endured 1700 years later. It still endures this Nicene Creed, you know. So anyway, I was just making that point because, you know, we could be here all night talking about the fact Henry VIII should have kept it in his trousers, if you like, to coin the layman's phrase. But the nature of the flawed world that we live in, and the flawed species that humans are, means that big political decisions, incidents of political expediency, if you like, occur for various complicated reasons. Not just. I'm not just saying that they're not always going to occur due to somebody's not being able to keep it in their due to some powerful fella not being able to keep it in his trousers. But that's one of the reasons why they occur. You get the picture. The other reasons why they occur is, it's generally money. The old cliche about how everything boils down to money tends to, in my experience, the reason why it's a cliche is because there's truth in it. So anyway, but as far as a pragmatic social democrat like me is concerned, I respect the fact we've got a monarchy. I don't particularly want any member of the monarchy being a sex abuser, thank you very much. So it's hardly surprising what's going on at the moment with the police investigations, and it's all over the media, blah, 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 blah. Prince Andrew, what the hell are you playing at, But you get the picture anyway. So I'm not particularly, I'm not particularly surprised about the shenanigans that are going on at the moment, but I'm also not a violent revolutionary in terms of lining everybody who's got more than 10 million quid up against the wall and line the royal family up against the wall. No, I'm not into that really. I'm as I say, I've considered it for a short while when I was about 19 or so, but it creates a lot of mess, that sort of thing, doesn't it? Someone has to clear it. Someone has to clean it up afterwards, and probably do it for minimum wage as well, sort of thing. So anyway, they also discussed how the social housing crisis got discussed today. Apparently, there's a fella called Stephen Reed, I think his name is. He's the housing minister. 25-minute mark, blimey. Time flies when you're having fun, everyone. Basically, the social housing crisis in the UK at the moment seems to boil down to the Labour government are allegedly kind of arsing about with sort of the private sector rather than, the accusation from the left, if you like, is just pull your finger out, build some decent quality houses using state money, and as apparently even Harold Macmillan from the Tories did in the post-war period, built some good quality council houses, which are still going strong, and